Ronan Vey's hands were black with grease, and his stomach growled louder than the engines of the ships he repaired. The diner's lights flickered under the weight of the asteroid storm outside, making every shadow twitch like it had a life of its own. He barely noticed the storm. He had more pressing concerns, like keeping his balance as he stepped over a puddle of spilled coolant. "Careful," a voice hissed, sharp and warm at the same time. Ronan barely had time to look up before a tray of glowing drinks tipped, the liquid arcing toward the floor. Reflexively, he lunged, knocking the tray just enough that the drinks missed the diners huddled in the corner. The dragon waitress, Saphira, her scales shimmering in emerald and gold, stumbled back, her claws scraping the floor. "You," she started, but Ronan cut her off. "Easy. I got it." He steadied her with one hand, the other gripping the edge of the counter. His heart raced, not from her scales or the heat in the room, but from the near disaster that could have ended badly in seconds. Then the flicker caught his eye. A shadow, darker than the dimmed lights, slid across the far corner of the diner. Not a person. Not quite a creature he had ever seen. 4 glowing eyes blinked, staring at him and Saphira. In an instant, it vanished behind the support beams, leaving only a faint trail of light that pulsed like a heartbeat. Ronan froze. His instincts screamed, "Don't ignore this." "Did you see that?" he asked Saphira, his voice low. She shook her head, too rattled to speak, her tail curling protectively around her legs. Ronan's eyes scanned the diner. Patrons were too busy chattering, oblivious to the strange visitor. The shadow left no footprints. No sounds. Yet something about the pulse it left, he couldn't explain it. He felt it hum under his fingertips, almost as if the diner itself had absorbed the presence. Saphira set a plate in front of him, and as he reached for it, a faint glow caught the corner of his eye. Something under the plate shimmered, barely noticeable unless you were looking for it. He lifted the plate just slightly and saw it, a tiny encrypted message etched into the ceramic, glowing faintly blue. His mind raced. Messages like this weren't common. Not in a diner. Not in this sector of the asteroid belt. Someone wanted him to see this. What? And how had they known he would notice it? Saphira leaned closer. "It's strange," she whispered, her voice trembling. "I've been working here for 10 years. No one's ever left anything under a plate like that. Why you?" Ronan shrugged but didn't answer. Instead, he gently lifted the plate and hid the message inside his tool pouch. He felt a flicker of satisfaction. Small maybe, but it was a start. Then the diner shuddered. The storm outside intensified, rocks scraping against the reinforced windows. A tray rattled, glasses clinking, but that wasn't what made him tense. The shadow had returned, closer this time. Its eyes glowed and its form stretched, almost tangible now. It moved toward him, slow but deliberate, a predator testing its prey. "Ronan?" Saphira's voice was sharp, pulling him out of his trance. Her wings twitched, ready to defend or flee. He didn't flinch. Instead, he reached for his wrench, the same one he had dropped earlier. His hands were steady, his mind sharp. He wasn't trained for monsters or shadows, but he was trained to improvise, to survive when the odds were impossible. The shadow paused. It hissed, not loud, not threatening, but it made the air vibrate like electricity. Then, without warning, it leapt behind the counter, disappearing once more. The residue it left glimmered faintly, pulsing against the metallic floor. Saphira's tail wrapped around her tightly. "I've never seen anything like that." Ronan exhaled slowly, more to calm himself than her. "Neither have I. But I'm not about to wait and find out what it does next." His eyes flicked to the tool pouch. The message beneath the plate could be the key, but he didn't yet know what it unlocked. The diner shook again, and this time a loud crash echoed from the storage bay at the back. Something heavy had fallen. Something alive. Ronan's instincts kicked in. He was human, yes, but humans survived where others failed. He gripped his wrench tighter, his mind already calculating, if it attacks, I'll need a plan. If it doesn't, I need answers fast. Saphira stepped close, wings brushing his shoulder. "You think it's connected to the message?" "I don't know," Ronan admitted, his voice calm but tense. "But someone, or something, wants me to find out. And I'm not walking away." A faint glow pulsed again beneath the plate. The diner's lights flickered in perfect sync with it, as if the room itself were alive, responding. Ronan felt a thrill, half fear, half determination. This is bigger than a diner. Bigger than a storm. And I'm in the middle of it. A sudden metallic screech came from the back, echoing like a scream. Ronan's head snapped in that direction. The shadow had returned. This time it was moving toward the storage doors, its eyes brighter, its shape more defined. And then, without warning, it darted through the door, leaving a faint, shimmering trail that led deeper into the shadows of the station. Ronan's jaw tightened. "Looks like we're going after it," he said. His voice carried certainty. Saphira gave a small nod, fear mixed with trust. The shadow paused one last time as if aware he was watching. Then it vanished into the darkness, leaving only the faint blue glow of the message beneath the plate, and a question burning in Ronan's mind. What exactly have I just stepped into? The diner settled for a moment, but the storm outside raged harder. And somewhere deep in the shadows the unseen watcher waited, patient and alive. Ronan sat in the dim light of his hangar, the metallic hum of the starship engines echoing softly around him. Outside, the asteroid storm battered the reinforced walls, sending tiny sparks across the metal floors. He opened his tool pouch and carefully lifted the plate from earlier. The blue glow of the message shimmered faintly in the shadows, reflecting off his grease-stained hands. Saphira leaned against the doorway, her wings folded but trembling slightly. "You really want to touch that thing?" she asked, her scales catching the dim light like molten metal. Her eyes darted nervously toward the shadows outside, where strange flickers of movement suggested they weren't alone. "I have to," Ronan said, his voice steady though his jaw tightened. "Ignoring it won't make it go away. Someone, or something, left it there for a reason." The message was delicate, etched in symbols that didn't match any language Ronan had seen. He traced the grooves with his fingertip. Immediately, the plate pulsed brighter, almost as if it were alive, reacting to his touch. Sparks of energy danced along the etched lines. His stomach tightened. This wasn't just a message. It was a warning. And maybe a key. Saphira's tail twitched. "Warnings usually mean trouble," she said. Ronan didn't respond, focusing instead on deciphering the code. Hours passed and the storm outside raged on, relentless. Every time he thought he had a sequence unlocked, the symbols shifted subtly, as if the plate itself was testing him. He gritted his teeth, refusing to quit. Failure wasn't an option. Then a sharp metallic click echoed through the hangar. Both Ronan and Saphira froze. Shadows shifted near the storage bay doors. Someone, or something, was watching. "Not alone," Saphira whispered. Ronan's mind raced. He knew how to survive storms, fix engines, dodge collapsing walls, but unseen enemies with unknown powers were a different challenge. He gripped his wrench, keeping his hands steady. "Stay close," he said, stepping toward the storage doors. His pulse was steady, his mind calculating. "Whatever comes through, we handle it together." The doors creaked open slowly, and faint glowing eyes appeared in the darkness. Reptilian shapes, sleek and sinister, moved with precise, deliberate steps. They didn't speak, but their presence was a threat heavy enough to make the hair on his arms stand on end. Their armor shimmered in the dim hangar light, and each step seemed to hum with power. Saphira stepped in front of Ronan, defensive, but he shook his head. "No, let me. You're the expert on this place. I'm the expert at fixing things, and surviving." The creatures paused, their gaze flicking to the plate in his pouch. Ronan's stomach clenched. They were here for it. The symbols. The energy it contained. And if they got it, no one would survive what came next. Ronan acted fast. He slid the plate from the pouch and placed it on a workbench, then grabbed tools, wires, and small power cells from his kit. His hands moved quickly, attaching components in ways that seemed reckless but precise. The creatures hissed, advancing cautiously, but the moment he connected the last circuit, the plate pulsed, sending a wave of light across the hangar. The pulse forced the reptilians back, just enough for Saphira to hiss in approval. Ronan didn't stop. He studied the symbols, connecting their energy lines to his improvised circuitry. Every adjustment made the glow more stable, and the creatures paused, watching, clearly disturbed. He realized something. The plate responded to ingenuity, to problem-solving. Intelligence mattered here. His human mind, something they couldn't anticipate, was the key. Hours blurred. Sparks flew. The storm outside felt distant compared to the tension inside the hangar. Saphira had never seen anyone move like this, calm under pressure, thinking 10 steps ahead while danger closed in. She began to understand why the plate had chosen him, or maybe why the universe had chosen him. Finally, with a sharp twist of a tool, the symbols aligned perfectly. The plate emitted a steady, vibrant glow. A holographic map projected into the air, showing coordinates to an orbital station long abandoned in the outer asteroid belt. Ronan leaned back, exhausted but focused. "This is it," he said. "This is where the message wants us to go." Saphira's eyes widened. "Do you know what's up there?" "Not entirely," Ronan admitted. "But it's clear it's important. And dangerous. We need to get there before anyone else does. Suddenly, the hangar lights flickered violently. The floor vibrated, and a deep rumble echoed from the station's structural supports. The storm outside had worsened, but this wasn't just the storm. Something heavy moved above the hangar roof, something alive. The shadows shifted again. The reptilian watchers didn't retreat, they called something. A low, resonant hum filled the hangar, vibrating through Ronan's chest. The creature's eyes glowed brighter, reflecting the plate's energy in 1,000 flickering patterns. Ronan's grip on the wrench tightened. They know we have it, he said, jaw tight. And they won't wait. We have to move, now. Saphira's tail lashed, her wings spreading slightly. I'm with you, she said, her voice fierce. But what is this place? What are they? Ronan took a deep breath. I don't know. But humans survive. And right now we're human. We act. We survive. We figure this out together. A sudden crash came from the storage bay. A shadow leapt across the ceiling, moving faster than the eye could track. The creatures hissed, startled, and the pulse from the plate flickered wildly. The holographic map wavered. Ronan's heart pounded. He grabbed Saphira's clawed hand. Hold on. We're going after it. Whatever this is, we won't fail. And with that, he opened the hangar door to the storm outside. The wind howled, the asteroid storm screamed around them, but ahead, through the chaos and shadows, a faint blue glow marked the path. The message was leading them, and whatever waited at the orbital station would test every ounce of human courage and ingenuity they possessed. The creatures hissed behind them. Something unseen moved in the darkness above. And the plate's glow pulsed as if it were alive, whispering a warning, the real danger is just ahead. The asteroid storm had not let up as Ronan and Saphira climbed into his battered starship. The hangar doors groaned under the weight of wind and rock, threatening to collapse with every gust. Inside, the cockpit glowed faintly with instrument lights. Ronan's hands danced across the controls, his mind racing through calculations, escape routes, and worst-case scenarios. He was tired, yes, but his focus was razor-sharp. Saphira sat beside him, wings folded but alert, her claws brushing against the console. You think it's really safe to follow that plate? She asked. Her voice was cautious but curious. Safe. Ronan snorted. Nothing out here is safe. But it's the only lead we've got. And I'm not about to ignore a chance to understand what's really going on. Outside, the asteroid storm battered the ship, rocks rattling against the hull like hail on metal. The shadow creatures had not followed, yet. That didn't mean they wouldn't. Every instinct Ronan had screamed that danger was still near, lurking just beyond visibility. Hours passed as they weaved through the asteroid belt. The blue glow of the plate's message had dimmed after he connected it to the holographic map, but the coordinates pulsed faintly on the display. Orbital station, he muttered. Abandoned. Probably decades, maybe centuries old. Saphira's eyes narrowed. Abandoned can be worse than active. Something could be waiting. Something we're not ready for. I know, Ronan admitted, scanning the proximity sensors. But humans adapt. We improvise. And we survive. We'll need both tonight. When the station appeared in view, it looked like a skeleton of a shipyard, dark and silent against the void. Its outer plating was chipped, covered in asteroid scars. The docking bay was open, almost as if it had been waiting for someone, or something, to enter. Ronan's pulse quickened. He docked carefully, the ship groaning as it latched onto the station. The airlock hissed open, and the smell of ozone and dust hit him immediately. Saphira stepped out first, her claws clicking against the metal floor. Her wings twitched nervously, but her posture was strong. Stay alert, Ronan whispered, adjusting his tool belt. Something's in here. I can feel it. The station was dark. The faint hum of dormant machinery echoed through vast, empty corridors. Ronan flicked on his portable lights, revealing panels covered in strange glyphs, not matching any language he recognized. The glow of the plate pulsed faintly in his hand, reacting to the station's energy. Then they heard it, a soft, almost melodic vibration from deep within the station. Not music, not machinery, but a sound that resonated inside their bones. Ronan froze, instinctively crouching, wrench in hand. Saphira hissed low, the vibrations making her scales shimmer. They followed the sound, deeper into the station, to a chamber that had clearly been sealed for decades. The walls were scratched not by tools but by something large and sharp. And at the center, suspended in midair by a faint energy field, was the object the plate had led them to. It was a device, ancient and alien, glowing with a living blue light. Its surface pulsed like a heartbeat, shifting and moving, almost as if it were aware of their presence. Saphira stepped closer. "That's the energy," she breathed. "It's sentient." Ronan's eyes widened. "Sentient? Like alive?" "Yes," she whispered, tail curling protectively. "And extremely dangerous if mishandled. That's why the shadow creature followed us. And why the message chose you, human." Ronan's mind spun. The plate. The message. The orbital station. Every step he had taken had led to this. And now the truth hit him. This wasn't just about survival. It was about responsibility. He had the chance to protect something no one else could. Suddenly, a sharp metallic screech echoed through the chamber. Reptilian enforcers, they had tracked them. The creatures moved silently along the catwalks above, eyes glowing, weapons ready. They were not here for negotiation, they were here to take the device by force. Ronan's stomach clenched, but he didn't hesitate. He quickly scanned the chamber, noting exposed wiring and energy conduits. With a surge of human ingenuity, he grabbed a loose energy panel and improvised a conduit shield to contain the device's energy. Sparks flew as the field flared, causing one of the approaching enforcers to falter. Saphira's eyes widened. "Ronan, be careful. That energy can kill in an instant." "I know," he shouted, twisting wires, connecting circuits, and using his knowledge of mechanical systems in ways that no alien could predict. "But if we don't stabilize it, they get it and no one survives." The enforcers hissed, stepping closer, but every movement they made triggered the device to pulse, sending waves of radiant blue light across the chamber. It was almost as if the device recognized human problem-solving as something valuable, or at least something it could respond to. Ronan worked with precision, each connection a gamble. If he miscalculated, the entire station could explode, taking them with it. Sweat ran down his face, but he ignored it. Failure was not an option. Humans survived where others failed, and he intended to prove it. Finally, with a sharp twist, the device stabilized. The glow softened, the hum quieted, and the enforcers hesitated, unsure how to proceed. Ronan looked at Saphira. "It's contained for now. But this is only the beginning." The message was right. Something bigger is coming. The shadow flickered at the far end of the chamber, watching silently. Not attacking, not retreating, just observing. Its glowing eyes were fixed on Ronan, almost as if it approved. Saphira exhaled slowly. "I didn't think humans could do this." Ronan wiped his hands on his grease-stained pants. "We adapt. We survive. And sometimes, we shine." His voice held pride, but beneath it was a warning. The station was not safe, the enforcers were still out there, and the energy they now controlled was more powerful than anything either of them had faced. A sudden tremor shook the floor. The device flickered violently. The enforcers hissed, regrouping. And in that instant, a loud, metallic crash echoed from the station's outer hull. A new threat, bigger and unseen, was approaching. Ronan clenched his fists. "Looks like the real challenge has just begun." The orbital station groaned like a wounded beast. Sparks rained from overhead conduits, and the air smelled of ozone and burning metal. Ronan crouched beside the device, sweat streaming down his forehead, tools clutched in his hands. Outside the viewport, chunks of asteroids battered the hull, rattling the whole station. The reptilian enforcers had regrouped, their glowing eyes fixed on the chamber, their weapons humming with lethal energy. Saphira's wings twitched nervously. "They're going to break in," she whispered. "Ronan, what can we do?" He shook his head. "We don't wait. We act." Humans survived by acting, by taking impossible odds and finding solutions no one else could imagine. He had no backup, no reinforcements, only his instincts, his hands, and his mind. And right now that was enough. The first enforcer climbed down from the catwalk, claws clicking against the metal floor. Ronan held his wrench tightly, scanning the chamber. Sparks from the exposed energy conduits danced across the walls. Then he saw it. The device responded to action, to cleverness. If he could manipulate the energy through mechanical improvisation, he might be able to use it as a defense. "Step back," he warned Saphira. She hesitated but trusted him, just as he knew she would. Ronan grabbed a loose panel and wedged it against the energy field. Then he ran cables from the station's power grid, improvising a circuit to channel the energy outward. The device pulsed violently, blue light streaking across the chamber. The first enforcer hissed and leapt back, claws sparking against the metal. Saphira's eyes widened. It's working." But the enforcers were smart. They moved faster than he expected, using their own technology to counteract his improvisation. A pulse of energy shot toward him, and Ronan dove, narrowly avoiding being struck. He rolled, grabbed another power conduit and connected it to the energy shield. Sparks flew, the chamber lit in brilliant blue flashes, and for a moment he thought the station itself might tear apart around them. He could feel it, the energy responding, almost sentient, like it was learning, adapting. This is why the shadow led me here, he realized. It knew humans could handle it. Saphira leapt to intercept a second enforcer, wings outstretched. She struck with precision, her claws hitting metallic armor, but she wasn't fast enough to stop all of them. The third enforcer lunged for the device. Ronan's heart pounded. He had seconds to act, or the energy and everything in the station would be lost. Now, he shouted, his mind calculating in fractions of a second. He yanked a final wire, connecting the last exposed conduit to the device's stabilization panel. A shock wave of blue light burst across the chamber, forcing the enforcers back. One stumbled into the wall, dazed. Another hissed in frustration as the energy field repelled them. The station trembled violently. Ronan braced himself, gripping the nearest support beam. "Keep it stable," he yelled to Saphira. She adjusted her position, helping reroute stray power lines with her claws. Sparks shot across the room, but the glow of the device remained steady, brighter and calmer than before. For a moment silence fell. The enforcers had retreated to the edges of the chamber, unsure how to proceed. The energy, contained by human ingenuity, pulsed rhythmically. Ronan's chest heaved. He had done the impossible, stabilized an alien device that no species in the galaxy had tamed. Then came the emotional weight. Saphira stepped forward, wings lowered, eyes shimmering. "I doubted you," she said softly. "I thought, maybe humans weren't ready for this." Her gaze met his. "But you proved me wrong." Ronan nodded, exhausted but alive. "Humans survive. We adapt. We shine even when the odds are impossible." Suddenly, a new sound erupted, a deep, resonant hum from the outer hull. Something large, something unseen, was moving against the station. The enforcers hissed, looking up, alarmed. Ronan realized instantly, the energy they had stabilized had attracted attention. Something far larger than the enforcers, far more dangerous, was coming. The station shook violently. Sparks rained from the ceiling. Saphira's tail lashed, wings spreading to maintain balance. "Ronan, we can't hold it if that comes through." He gritted his teeth. "Then we'll have to be ready." With rapid hands he connected the last circuits, rerouted power to the outer shields, and improvised a feedback loop that would deflect an impact. Every move was a gamble. Every decision mattered. The hum grew louder, almost deafening. Shadows stretched along the walls, moving faster, heavier than before. The enforcers hissed, retreating further. And then, through the viewport, Ronan saw it, a massive shadowed shape, larger than the station itself, moving in the void. Its edges shimmered faintly, energy pulsing from its form in sync with the device. He swallowed hard. "That's not a ship," he muttered. "That's alive." Saphira's eyes widened in shock. "What have we done?" "Exactly what we had to," Ronan said firmly. "We protected the device. We survived this long. We're not done yet." The massive creature slammed against the outer hull, rattling the entire station. Sparks flew. Metal groaned. The energy field around the device flared violently, responding to the creature's pulse. Ronan and Saphira were thrown to the floor but scrambled to their feet. Ronan gritted his teeth. "It wants the device. But it won't get it. Not if we can help it. Humans survive by being clever, by being bold, by not giving up, even when the impossible is against them." Saphira nodded. "Then we fight. Together." The station shuddered again. The energy field stabilized, glowing brighter than ever. The massive creature pulsed in response, hesitant, testing, almost respecting their resolve. Ronan's chest heaved. For the first time he saw the truth. Courage, intelligence, and determination could shine, even in the face of godlike forces. And as the enforcers hissed and the massive shadow lingered outside, one question burned in Ronan's mind. If we survive this, what comes next? The answer was out there, in the stars, waiting, and whatever it was, it would test human ingenuity like never before. The orbital station shuddered one last time, and then the hum of the alien device settled into a calm rhythm. The massive shadow outside retreated into the void, its glowing energy pulsing faintly as if acknowledging their victory. Ronan leaned against the support beam, his chest heaving, arms trembling from the strain of hours spent improvising, fighting, and surviving. The adrenaline lingered, sharp and electric, but a new sensation washed over him, a quiet pride. Saphira stepped close, her scaled hand brushing against his arm. "I don't know how you did it," she said softly, her voice trembling with relief and awe. I thought humans. I thought you'd be overwhelmed. But you're remarkable. Ronan shook his head, smiling faintly. I didn't do it alone. You were here. And humans survive by acting, thinking, and never giving up. That's what makes us shine. He looked at the alien device, now contained safely within its energy field, and traced the glowing pulses with his eyes. We didn't just survive. We proved that courage and ingenuity can change outcomes that seem impossible. Saphira exhaled, wings folding slowly, and for a moment she allowed herself to relax. The danger had passed, but the impact of the events pressed heavily on both of them. The station was quiet now, yet the memory of every flash of light, every pulse of energy, every hiss of the enforcers lingered in their minds like a warning that nothing was ever truly safe in the galaxy. Ronan approached the device carefully, placing his hand over the containment field. It pulsed gently in response, almost like a heartbeat. He realized then that the plate, the one he had first found in the diner, was more than a message. It had been a test. The shadow, the enforcers, the danger, they were all part of a challenge designed to see if a human could rise to the occasion. Saphira's eyes met his. So, the plate chose you, she said softly. You were meant to be here. Ronan nodded slowly, the weight of that truth settling in. It seems so. Humans survive. And when we do, we don't just survive for ourselves. We protect, we solve, we make the impossible possible. That's what matters. They worked together for hours, securing the station's systems and reinforcing the device's containment field. Ronan adjusted circuits, rerouted power, and used his mechanical skills to create redundancies in the energy field. Each action gave a small payoff, a spark of light here, a hum stabilizing there. With every adjustment, the device became more secure, more stable, and the station felt less like a trap and more like a fortress. As the last panel clicked into place, Ronan finally allowed himself to sit, exhaustion washing over him. Saphira perched beside him, her eyes reflective. I never thought I'd see a human do this, she said, voice quiet. You've changed everything I believed about your kind. Ronan smiled faintly. Humans have always been underestimated. But we shine when it matters. We rise when the odds are against us. And sometimes, we surprise even ourselves. The moment of calm was brief. From the shadows, faint flickers of movement hinted at lingering threats. The enforcers had not disappeared entirely, and the massive shadow in the void was still somewhere beyond the station. Ronan felt a familiar thrill of anticipation. Danger was never gone, it merely awaited the next challenge. Saphira tilted her head, looking at him. What happens now? Ronan's gaze drifted to the holographic map the plate had projected. Faint blue lines shimmered across a distant sector of the galaxy, coordinates pointing to an abandoned human colony at the edge of explored space. His mind raced. The message, the plate, it wasn't done with us. It's leading us somewhere new. And whatever's waiting out there, we'll face it together. She nodded slowly, understanding dawning. Humans survive. You said it yourself. And we'll need that courage again. Ronan stood, brushing dust and sparks from his sleeves. He took the plate from his pouch, the blue glow steady now, reassuring. This plate, he said, it's more than a message. It's a reminder that humans can rise above any challenge, protect what others can't, and make choices that change the course of events. That's what being human is. And that's why we can face whatever comes next. They made their way back to the docking bay, securing the station behind them. Outside, the asteroid storm had calmed, leaving only silence and the faint glow of distant stars. Ronan looked out through the viewport at the vast galaxy, a sense of purpose settling over him. The adventure was far from over. The energy they had protected, the shadows they had faced, and the enforcers who remained in the distance all hinted at new trials. Saphira glanced at him, wings folding back, a quiet smile on her scaled face. Do you think the human colony is ready for what's coming? Ronan's lips curled into a confident smile. No one is ever ready. But humans adapt. Humans survive. And sometimes, humans shine the brightest when no one expects it. The blue glow of the plate pulsed one last time in his hand, as if affirming his words. Then it dimmed, leaving only a faint shimmer. Ronan knew the message had not ended, it was guiding them forward, to challenges that would test courage, intelligence, and heart. As the starship lifted off from the station, leaving the calm asteroid belt behind, Ronan glanced at Saphira. We did good today. But the real test, the real adventure, is out there waiting. Beyond the stars, hidden in the dark folds of the galaxy, a new pulse of energy flickered, A challenge, a mystery, and a danger far greater than anything they had faced. Ronan's jaw tightened with determination. Humans survive. Humans shine. And we're not done yet. The ship vanished into the inky black, leaving only the faint shimmer of the device and a promise that the story was far from over. The galaxy waited, and so did the challenges that would demand courage, ingenuity, and heart. And somewhere beyond the edge of explored space, a faint whisper of the plate's blue glow pulsed, hinting at a secret yet to be revealed, and the next adventure that would test everything they thought they knew.